Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Rose, and just before we do, take a quick peek at Bitcoin because any good trader needs to understand what Bitcoin is doing first. Now, taking a look here, we got these buy zones down here. That's what I provided to my community members in case the price comes down that low. You want a dollar cost average. Still recommend doing that as well right now. But we are between 58 and 60,000, and for lack of better terms, 58,000 is a new support. It was able to close above that 2 days in a row, but we're still looking at 60,000 as a strong potential for resistance. So just bear that in mind. We're still kind of probably going to be in this channel here for the next 24 hours. Monday, Tuesday, we might see a different story. It's either a sell-off or an increase. One of the two will happen. But the key here is that we are needing to make higher highs and higher lows on smaller time frames in order to make that happen. 4-hour chart does have some pretty measly lower highs or higher highs and higher lows, but it's still too early to tell, right? Because again, 1-hour chart does reflect a little bit more positivity, but we want more confirmation of the 4-hour chart and the 1-day chart before we can truly feel confident that Bitcoin's moving in the right direction. So just a heads up on that. Also, moving averages are moving their way down, so we'll see soon how that comes into play in the very near future here. So I'm excited to see what that happens. That might actually come to fruition tomorrow or Monday. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's take a quick look at Rose. And just before we do, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much again for joining me here. But obviously, I want to make sure that you have a good experience and you know that this is for educational purposes only. My goal is to help you become a better trader. Simply put, I love helping people become better financially, and trading is one of the best and easiest ways to do that. And I say easy because obviously in the last 15 years, I've developed a few strategies and I know what works and what doesn't. I'm going to hopefully teach you a little bit along the way. So if you stick through the video and don't just fast forward to the end for the prediction, then you're going to be probably in much better shape overall, having learned something today. All right, so that's kind of the goal. Also, I do have a Patreon community. Check that out in your own time. I actually share my trades with every single member that I have, and it's a really awesome experience. We're all learning and growing together, and I actually do share trades for every single trade that I take, so you can kind of see what it's like and be able to follow along if you want, because it's really awesome to be able to kind of understand what somebody does every single day for work, right? This is my job, and I love it. Thank you so much again. All right, so let's take a look here at Rose. We'll start with the 1-day chart. It's important to look at the 1-day chart because it is the big dog, right? It's probably the most important time frame to look at because where the 1-day candlesticks close really helps us understand support and resistance levels. And this is something we can look at here. Let's just make sure. So this is the only. All right, so just to double check, this is again Binance as of November 2020. So this is about a year's worth of data. So there's previous all-time highs I'm not aware of using this chart. Feel free to comment below. I appreciate letting me know that, okay? But we're just going to work with the data we have here. And as we can tell, the most recent, or more than likely, the all-time high for Rose previously, right in the September range, was right around 28.6 cents. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and mark that guy there and continue on. So we'll just go ahead and mark that. That is essentially the high. We also got this resistance channel here too, where the all-time high, again, based on this chart or this exchange, is right around 36.5 cents. So we got this little channel here right now, okay? Now we're in that channel for the most part, right? So even though, yes, we've broken the all-day, the one-time high day close, we haven't broken the all-time high yet, okay? And that's important to note because we want to understand how that works, right? And I'll explain what I mean by that in moving forward. But one thing I see that's pretty clear as day here is that the candlestick today, which is only about 5 hours long, it actually came down. It looks like it bounced off of this previous 1-day candlestick close. So 28.6 was an essential support level. You can see it kind of reaffirmed right there. That is awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and go into the other basic, more traditional indications, and then we'll work our way down to kind of the micro aspect of things and kind of see what's really going on here with Rose. And we want to find out, obviously, where we're going, too, because I do get a lot of requests from my community members here. I think Macy asked me to cover this. Thank you so much for requesting that. And if you take a look here, obviously, we're back up over 70 on the RSI. That's a fantastic sign. That means we kind of broke through that tentative resistance level. It hasn't closed above yet. Bear in mind, this candlestick is new, so it's not going to really... It doesn't matter at this exact time, but it's healthy in the sense that it's moving in that direction. If we can get this to close above 70 on the RSI, then that would be effectively a support level, pushing the price up further. It gives that momentum. It's kind of a momentous indication there that even though, yes, it's overbought, there's no doubt about that, on the 1-day candlestick, it kind of works as a support level once it stays above. 50, 30, 70 on the RSI, support and resistance levels all day long. That's pretty much what they're there for. Moving on to the 4-hour, let's take a look. You can see here the price just kind of broke right through there, had a little bit of trouble, but continued through. Both moving averages are below the price action now. You can see the price came down and tested this support level here, right at about, it was on the 18th, of course, it's about 9 a.m. We got a nice little hit right around 22.5, and then it continued back up. So that was not a major issue there. It just worked right around. So that's awesome to see that. That recovery was pretty quick. That's a good sign too when you see a decrease and an increase that fast. It shows that somebody was trying to bring the price down, right? Some type of whale is trying to dump the price. What they did is they end up selling all their shares, right, or their coins, so to speak, and then the price went right back up, or they rebought down at that point. Either way, the 50-day simple moving average worked as a support. That's the key takeaway here. That's the important thing, and that's a good thing. Now, looking here at the RSI, we can see 70 is kind of holding as a resistance. That's perfectly fine. If the price doesn't go any higher right now, that'd be just fine. I'd actually be happier with that based on the sheer fact that it does appear to be a little bit on the extended side here. We can see in the last 8 hours of trading, we have upwards of 20%, almost 21% increase. Okay, so not all bad, not all good. It's really just kind of is what it is. I don't see that as a negative, but I can see that we are a bit on the overextended side. We are to 6 on TD sequential. So what that basically means is we have maybe about 12 more hours of bullish momentum before the price is likely to retrace. Now, when I say that, consolidation happens too. What we could see happen here as well is a consolidation right around the resistance, and the price just continue, to kind of make itself into a wedge pattern and eventually break to the upside. And if it were to break to the upside, it'll commonly always retrace back down to the next essential support level, which is a previous high, and that essentially creates itself as a strong support level, and then we see an increase. So it's really common to be able to see the price break the resistance level, which is usually the all-time high, come back down, test it one more time, and then take off. That is so common in this industry, it's ridiculous. And I would much rather put money into an all-time high than I would a coin that has potential for 10x, because it's almost more so guaranteed earnings versus the potential of a coin eventually maybe never taking off. Okay, so if you see a coin that's like, oh my gosh, it was at $10 3 months ago and now it's at $1, I want in. Not so much, right? That's maybe a swing trade, 5% of your portfolio. This is more of a, more of a day trade and or, a short-term swing trade that you're going to be able to collect some profits on quickly, right? So anyways, all good stuff here. I don't see any negative. There's really no downside so far. We're looking pretty darn good on the 4 hours. So let's go ahead and see what the 1 hour tells us, and we'll go ahead and see what the cloud's telling us as well. So we're above the cloud, obviously. What's great about this is the cloud is kind of resting closer to support. So the price does end up coming back down. We do have a pretty strong support level, about 28.7 cents. So that's going to be reaffirmed as a nice support. Bear in mind that was a 1-day candlestick close in the past, which is equally as important because that's going to work as a strong support moving forward. In fact, we saw that on the 1-day candlestick where the price comes down and it bounces essentially. And it's pretty much, gone up ever since, right? So if you take a look at this, again, this is about 5 hours. We're about 5 hours into this trading cycle. You can see right here the price comes down, bounces off this, and continues up. So that reaffirms that support level at 28.6. So if you're going to have stop loss in place or just kind of understand where to maybe next buy the dip next if it were to happen, that's a good place for it. So that's cool. Okay, and then we're looking at Ishimoku Cloud. Obviously above the cloud, we got the baseline underneath and the conversion line above. That's excellent. We still have all this time here too as well. So if you're in a position presently, according to Ishimoku Cloud, you're still safe to hold until this conversion line comes down. Once this crosses this plane, kind of like a bearish divergence on a MACD, for example, then and only then you'd want to consider selling. That usually happens first before this lagging span occurs and comes over here and intersects with the price. Okay, so again, all good things. There's really literally nothing that is bearish on Rose right now. I don't see anything at all. Now, could it come down and correct itself? Sure, it probably will. There's no doubt. Because again, it looks like it's been on the overextended side. On the 4 hour chart, again, we got like what? 3 more candlesticks worth of bullish momentum. And here we've got roughly 5 to 10 hours left of bullish momentum. We're at a 4 on TD sequential. So we got that nice reset and the bounce. So we're 4 hours into this 5 hour candlestick essentially on the 1-day chart, and we're looking pretty darn good. So I would say that Rose should likely continue to push up. There's 1 or 2 scenarios that'll take place. If it continues upwards, it'll come up, it'll continue to test the resistance and eventually break it. Okay. Scenario 2, it comes up, breaks it, comes back down, and it consolidates at the previous resistance, which is the all-time high / current support. And then at this point, you add to your position and the price will take off. That's almost always a common ground. The only thing that would cause the price to come crashing back down, keep this in mind, this could even come to fruition on Monday when the bears, or correction, the whales are back in place. The bears are going to want to take their profits from Bitcoin increasing over the weekend, right? That could send Rose into I wouldn't say a downward spiral, but it could force that test of that support level. And worst case scenario, we lose the support. Then we come back down here to roughly 28.6, which is even a stronger support level, okay? So if you see what I'm saying here, we're in a nice support and resistance channel right now, and that's awesome. And I think the only thing we're going to see moving forward is the price to go up, consolidate at support, or even consolidate at that resistance level before it becomes a support, and then take off to the upside afterwards. So I would venture to guess we're going to see some good things here from Rose soon, just based on that sentiment alone. Okay. Now, obviously, do your own research, right? It's important for you to do that. I'm not invested in this coin, so I don't know a lot about it. But if you are, you need to know what's going on and how that works. Also, check out lunarcrush.com. It's a really good website for social sentiment, understanding how coins are trending in social media, because that has a huge impact on the way in which prices are influenced. Okay, so again, just some friendly advice there, but I hope you found benefit. I know this is kind of running a little bit longer than usual, but I just wanted you to know kind of roughly where we're at. The very last thing we could do, in fact, we probably want to do that really quick, so sorry for the time delay here. Let's go ahead and just draw up some Fibonacci retracement lines and kind of just give us some hypotheticals on what we could see as a best case scenario in the immediate future. There's definitely more potential for on the macro, but for right now in the micro, so to speak, the next 24 to 48 hours, if the price does break, we could see upwards of about 50 cents as a best case scenario in the immediate future. So next few days, 50 cents. We'll reevaluate this again soon if and when it breaks that resistance level, and then obviously identify what the bigger potential is for Rose, because right now I think 50 cents is just an inevitability at this point, and I think it's definitely worth considering. So get ready, buckle up. I think it's going to be a cool little ride here. So thanks again, Macy, for requesting that I cover this. Greatly appreciate you. And thanks to all my current patrons. And if you're not currently a patron, consider subscribing. I'm going to share every single trade that I take with you, and this might actually be one of them. But also, more importantly, I teach you how to become a better trader, and just by osmosis and learning from the community. Amazing experience. Check that out in your own time. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.